Imagine the year 2020, the Nevada sky pitch black. A strange silhouette streaks silently through the darkness, a secret test flight that sent Chinese intelligence into a frenzy. That's the Boeing F-47 NGAD, America's 6th-generation fighter jet that's been flying covertly for 5 years before the world even knew. But now, in 2026, its rivals are rising. The UK, Japan, Italy Tempest and China's massive J-36. Which one will dominate the Pacific skies? Sit tight, we're breaking them down one by one. It all started in 2014, behind the Pentagon's Iron Curtain. DARPA hid the NGAD program in a $28 billion black budget so opaque even Congress committees struggled to track it, a vague line item in advanced propulsion research. Boeing Phantom Works assembled a full-scale demonstrator in their secret Palmdale, California facility, Boeing's version of Skunk Works. Engineers were strictly compartmentalized. The aerodynamics team didn't know radar, the propulsion team didn't know stealth, 0 leaks guaranteed. In 2019, the first F-47 night flight over Nevada's restricted range, powered by adaptive cycle engines 45% more thrust than the F-22, while sipping fuel. The crazy trick, Lockheed Martin as a $2 billion decoy contract to fool China and Russia into thinking the competition was still open when Boeing had a 4-year head start. The result? A secret 5-year tech lead. China only realized in December 2024 with the J-36 reveal in Beijing. Total panic reaction. Their interim WS-10C engines at just 65% of design spec, forced into premature flight for prestige. F-47, low-rate production in 2028, IOC 2030, $185 million per unit, worth it for absolute Pacific air dominance. Pentagon war games in 2018 were brutal. Without the F-47, the US loses air superiority over Taiwan in 96 hours. China fields 1,800 jets against the US's 450 F-35s and F-22s in the Pacific, plus vulnerable tankers ripe for missiles. The F-47 is the answer, 1,200 nautical mile combat radius from Guam straight to China's coast, no refueling. Compare that to the F-35's mere 670 miles. Its adaptive cycle engines are smart, fuel-sipping mode for long range, Turbomac 2 Plus for dogfights, plus 1.5 megawatts of power for lasers and EW. Veterans say, this is the F-22 retiring with a smile. The tyranny of distance is gone for good. Now the first challenger, Tempest, or GCAP, a joint effort by UK's BAE Systems, Italy's Leonardo and Japan's Mitsubishi. Sleek tailless delta wing, twin Rolls-Royce/IHI engines for minimal frontal stealth, S-duct intakes hiding the engines. Their focus? Combat cloud. AI, pilots control drones via 360-degree virtual cockpit. Sensor fusion processing 10,000 times more data than the F-35. Weapons include Meteor successor with 200-plus kilometer range, hypersonic strikes. Timeline: 2027 demonstrator, operational 2035. Strong in NATO Pacific interoperability and costs shared across 3 nations make it cheaper than the F-47. Downside: no real-world tests yet, unlike the F-47 that's been flying secretly for 6 years. Can it match NGAD in multi-domain scenarios? Maybe, but the US holds a singular tech lead. The most feared opponent, China's J-36, aka Baidi. This massive diamond-shaped flying wing with no tailpacks, 3 WS-10C engines hauling 4,000 kilograms of weapons, including the PL-17 missile with 300-kilometer standoff range. It already flew test flights in 2024, boasting 1 megawatt power for overwhelming enemy defenses with drone swarms. Stealth comes from IR suppression via engine shielding, and its huge size enables long-range Pacific ops. Beijing claims it's the B-21 Raider killer, with a dual cockpit for autonomous drone control. But here's the catch. Interim engines failed durability tests, so operational status slips to 2035, 5 years behind the F-47. China's got numbers, but quality? War games show F-47 swarms with a 28 to 1 kill ratio against simulated J-36. Beijing's betting big, rapid mass production versus America's perfectionism. Now let's break down the core of this fight. Sensors, drones and stealth that will decide the 2030 winner. The F-47 brings sensor fusion from 17 different types. APG-85 multiband radar that's unjammable, IRST tracking heat through night clouds, and distributed aperture for 360-degree awareness with no blind spots. Its AI co-pilot predicts enemy moves 12 seconds ahead from flight patterns. With a kill chain of just 8 seconds from detection to boom, enemies don't even know what hit them. 6 wingman drones at $30 million each handle, recon 200 miles ahead, jam Russian S-400S, and fire AIM-260 long-range missiles, turning outnumbered into outgunned. Stealth RCS of 0.001 square meters, marble-sized, adaptive metamaterial skin absorbing X-band to low-frequency VHF radar that usually nails F-22s, plus ambient cold exhaust via thousands of microvents in the wings. Tempest fights back hard with Global Combat Cloud AI, 360-degree augmented reality helmet display, sensor fusion crunching 10,000 times more data than the F-35, and perfect NATO-Pacific interoperability. The J-36 counters with drone overload from its dual cockpit, PL-17 300-kilometer standoff missiles, and 3 WS-10C engines carrying 4,000 kilograms payload. Beijing's fastest mass production ever. Now we shift to another game changer: speed, engine endurance, and who nails mass production first. The F-47 rocks a revolutionary adaptive cycle engine, supercruise at Mach 2+ with full weapons load, no wasteful afterburner, 30% more fuel efficient than the F-22, plus it generates 1.5 megawatts of power for a 300 kilowatt laser-directed energy weapon that slices enemy drones like paper. Picture the F-47 sprinting from Guam straight to China's coast in just 1 hour, still topped off on fuel for the dogfight. The Tempest uses the latest Rolls-Royce/IHI engines with advanced S-duct intakes that hide the fan blades from radar, designed for minimal frontal drag. Their demonstrator hits test flights in 2027, promising competitive supercruise, but real data's still classified. Tempest's big edge is the 3-nation collab efficiency. China's J-36 is the brute. 3 WS-10C engines at once, heaviest 4,000 kilogram payload in the Gen 6 class, powering this giant flying wing across the Pacific without tankers. Beijing claims mass production starts 2028, with Chengdu aerospace factories geared to churn out 200 units per year. Downside? the WS-10C is still an interim engine with repeated endurance test failures. Real ops not till 2035. So who's the Gen 6 Sky King by 2030? The F-47 NGAD isn't just a fighter, it's America's insurance policy for 50 years of air dominance. Tempest/GCAP shines in global NATO-Pacific collab, shared costs across 3 nations, perfect AI combat cloud interoperability with existing F-35s. But demonstrators only in 2027, ops in 2035, 5 years behind the F-47 already producing in 2028. China's J-36 crushes in fast mass production, 3 engines hauling more bombs, drone swarms overwhelming Taiwan defenses numerically. Beijing says prototype flew in 2024, but RAND wargames show F-47 plus 6 wingmen hitting a 28-to-1 kill ratio against simulated J-36. WS-10C interim engine failing endurance tests, real ops 2035. F-47, absolute lead, 1,200 nm combat radius, eliminates tanker vulnerabilities, marble-sized stealth versus Russian-Chinese radars, AI dogfight prediction, laser DEW shredding ballistic missiles. F-47, NGAD isn't just a jet, it's America's insurance policy for the next 50 years. Tempest is strong in global collaboration, China's J-36 is fierce in numbers, but F-47 leads in stealth, range and AI. Veterans, this is the successor to the F-22 that will make you proud. Like if you agree the F-47 is supreme, comment which rival you think is the biggest threat. Support Red Phantom by sharing this video with friends who share your interests, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Stay aware, stay informed, and stay part of the Red Phantom community.